And we are back once again, and it's time for another day of Asian Cup and African Cup of Nations action after another day full of drama. A 96th minute winner in that crucial game between Burkina Faso and Mauritania. I can never say Mauritania correctly, but we have got 4 more games for you today. Sadly, only 4, not the usual 5 or 6, but 4 more games for you across 2 different groups, one from the Asian Cup and one from the African Cup of Nations. If you've not been watching this series to this point, please make sure you do subscribe to the channel today because we are doing these videos every single day. And of course, don't forget to drop a like on the video as well if you have been enjoying this series so far. Let's get into all of those 4 matches taking place across the Asian Cup and the African Cup of Nations today. And as always, we will be starting with the Asian Cup. Today, we are starting with the repeat of Group A as we circle around to the first sort of match day 2 in the Asian Cup. And we'll start off with Lebanon taking on China. 2 sides who are probably going to feel like they slightly underperformed in their opening matches. I think everyone expected Qatar to beat Lebanon in the opener, but I don't think everyone expected it to be as comfortable as it was. And I think China will be very disappointed that they weren't able to beat Tajikistan in their opening fixture. So you have to look at the form of these 2 sides, and I think neither of these teams have scored a goal in their last 3 competitive matches. So it would be very, very easy for me to just sit here and go that I think this is going to be 0-0. However, I'm not that boring. I don't like going for 0-0 predictions, as you know, unless I'm absolutely dead cert it's going to be 0-0. I'm going to go for 1-0 to China. I think on paper they are slightly the stronger side, but we shall see. Honestly, it would not surprise me one bit if this game did in fact finish 0-0. The other game in this group is, of course, between those other 2 sides. Tajikistan taking on Qatar. And again, I think Qatar played so well in that opening game. They are, of course, the defending champions of the Asian Cup as well. They are playing some very good football. They absolutely blew Lebanon away in that opening fixture. And to be honest, their form and Tajikistan's form, I don't really see this being anything else than another absolute romping victory for Qatar. So I'm going to go for 4-0. That might be a little bit disrespectful to Tajikistan, but for me, I think Qatar should win this group relatively comfortably now after that easy win in the opener. So I'm going to go for 4-0. Their confidence is high. Expect it to continue. From Asia, we then, of course, move to Africa, where once again, I think the games are a little bit tougher to call. We start off with Morocco taking on Tanzania, and the good thing about this, when it comes to a prediction, is that these 2 sides were drawn in the exact same group in World Cup qualification for 2026. And these 2 sides already played each other in November, and it was a 2-0 win to Morocco. Now, Morocco don't tend to score as many goals as you'd expect, considering how good their side is on paper. They're more set on making sure they don't concede and then taking their odd chances when they come. So, given the fact I was going to go for something like a 2-0 or a 3-0 before I even saw that these 2 sides played each other a couple of months ago, I'm going to stick with that original 2-0 prediction, looking for a back-to-back 2-0 win for Morocco over Tanzania. The other game in Africa sees the Dominican Republic, I always say Dominican, the Democratic Republic of Congo taking on Zambia, I believe the other team is here. So Congo against Zambia. Tough one to call this. These sides are very close in the FIFA rankings. They're very close when it comes to form. They both have one of 2 sort of like players that people will recognise. For me, the main player for Congo is probably Silas from Stuttgart, who's playing absolutely brilliantly near the top of the Bundesliga this season. For Zambia, it is, of course, Patson Daka, the Leicester striker, who has been on very good form recently as well. Aside from that, there are a few other players where I think that the Congo are just a little bit stronger. You know, the likes of Chancellor Mbemba from Marseille is another one that pops to mind, and there's a couple of others that I can't remember without actually looking, but trust me, you look at the Congo squad, you'll recognise a fair few more players than you would from the Zambia squad. So with that said, for me, the Congo are just going to take it. I'm going to go for 2-1. I think it's going to be a close one. Like I say, these games in Africa so far have been really, really tight in pretty much every single match so far. There's been a lot of upsets already. I definitely think there is potential. Probably not from Tanzania to do Morocco in, but I think Zambia could definitely get something against the Congo today. We shall see. Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments section as always. Thank you very much for watching. I will once again be back tomorrow where we get to do this all over again. I'll see you then.